Welcome back. Good evening to one and all. Hope you all know that we are following the concepts of equivalent resistance in a closed circuit. So in the last class, we have dealt with finding equivalent resistance using the concept of path symmetry. Earlier we have dealt with a method of reduction method. But here we are following a different technique known as path symmetry. So what is path symmetry? While moving from one point to another point in a closed electric circuit, if we have similar or identical paths, means the configuration of resistors along all the different possible paths should be same, then we call them as identical paths. So while moving from one point to another point in a closed electric circuit, if we find the different ways along which the same configuration of resistors are available, we call them as identical paths. Along such identical paths, the current will be divided same at the starting of that particular point. This is what we have learned path symmetry in the earlier class. So using path symmetry, if there are 12 identical resistors connected along the sides of a cube, then we have calculated the equivalent resistance across the body diagonal AG. While moving from A to G, AD, DH, HG, AE, EH, HG, AB, BF, FG, they are all identical paths. While moving from A to G, which is a body diagonal, AD, DH, HG, AE, EH, HG, AB, BF, FG, they are known as identical paths because the configuration of resistors along all the three paths will be same. So in that manner, the division of current at the starting of those paths will be equal, will be same according to path symmetry. Of course, now our point is calculating the equivalent resistance across the phase diagonal. So let me take AC, which is a phase diagonal, because you can see in the figure ABCD is the front face, EFGH is the rear face of the particular cube. Now in the phase ABCD, AC will be the phase diagonal. Of course, you can have 6 faces with a cube, so each face will have 2 diagonals, then you can have 12 face diagonals. I think you are sure AC and BD are the 2 face diagonals among the 12. But I am talking about one of the face diagonals, which is AC. So my question here is, when 12 identical resistors are connected along the sides of a cube, then find the equivalent resistance across the face diagonal of the cube. So let me suppose a cell or battery is connected in between A and C. So that suppose I current is drawn from this cell, whose voltage is E, voltage or EMF, because the internal resistance is negligible here. So I current is drawn. Then the current I finds 3 paths, AB, AE, AD. But while moving from A to C, AD, DC, AB, BC are identical paths, but not AEHGC is not identical as AB and AD, because AEEHHGGC 4, AEEFFGGC 4, but ADDC 2, ABBC 2. So the configuration of resistors along the paths ABBC and ADDC will be same. That's why these two AB and AD are identical paths. That's why at the junction, the current will be divided equally. The current among such junctions will be, such paths will be same. So along the AD I1 current, along the AB also I1 current. Then here along the AE you can take I2. Sir, I will take I minus 2I1. Yes, you can take. There is no problem. You can take I minus 2I1 also, you can write. There is no issue. So anyway, I1 is the current along AD, same as that of along AB, and along AE the current is I2. Now when I1 current comes to D, again it finds a division along DC and DH. Similarly, when I1 current comes to B, it finds again division along BC and BFFG. Hope it is clear. But when you look at this division of currents at D and B, DC, BC identical. DH, HG, GC, BF, FG, GC identical. That's why, suppose if I1 divides as here I3 and here I1 minus I3, let us suppose. The current I1 divides at D as I3 along DC, I1 minus I3 along DH. Then this I1 also will go as I3 along DC, because there is a single resistor along I3 and here also along I3. That similarity we should follow. And here along BF there is I1 minus I3. Now come to the point E. EF, FG, GC 3. EH, HG, GC 3. Means while moving from E to C, the identical paths EF, FG, GC, EH, HG, GC are identical. That's why I2 divides equally along the EF and EH as I2 by 2 and I2 by 2. Now here this I2 by 2 will join with I1 minus I3 here and will come out as I1 minus I3 plus I2 by 2. And this I2 by 2 will join here and will come out as I1 minus I3 plus I2 by 2. Now we'll join here. So I1 minus I3 plus I2 by 2. I1 minus I3 plus I2 by 2 will join here. Then here I3 is going to join here. I3 is going to join here. Hope it is clear to you. I3, 2I3. This minus I3, this minus I3, minus 2I3 will cancel. I1 plus I1, 2I1. I2 by 2 plus I2 by 2 will be I2. Yes. I is equal to 2I1 plus I2. Am I right? I is equal to 2I1 plus I2. Am I right or not? Once look at this. I divides as I1 plus I1 plus I2. So 2I1 plus I2. Yes, of course, when I3 joining at C, 2I3, but these two, I1 minus I3 plus I2 by 2, I1 minus I3 plus I2 by 2 are going to join here. Then in that case, here the current is 2I1 minus 2I3 plus I2. 2I1 minus 2I3 plus I2. Hope you can write yourself, hope. GC current. Then at this point 2I3 gets cancelled and finally it will come out as I, which is 2I1 plus I2. So this is how there will be division of current. Of course, if you have taken an equivalent circuit for this, between AC, if you suppose the equivalent resistance is RE across AC, a cell of EMF E is connected, you can write E is equal to I into RE also you can write. This technique you know. Anyway, I will derive the value of E in terms of I gets cancelled and I will get RE. So this is the division of currents first. Now we apply KVL in this electric circuit to come across the solution. So the first closed loop that I am going to take, A, D, C, A. Hope it is clear. A, D, C, A is the closed loop first I am taking. A, D, C, A. In that closed loop, direction of current is from high potential to low potential. So in the direction of current there is a potential drop. How much potential drop from A to D? I1 current through R resistance. Small r is identical resistance, I told you in the earlier class. So potential drop minus I1R. Next, here D2C, again there is a potential drop. How much? I3R. As it is a drop, I have to write a minus. You learned KVL already. And from C to A, while moving from C to A, minus to plus, so potential rise, so plus E across the cell is equal to 0. Algebraic sum of all the potential drops in a closed circuit is 0. Then you can write E equal to I1 plus I3 into R. You can write. This is one equation. From the closed loop A, D, C, A. Once look at this. So after deriving the equation E equal to I1 plus I3 into R, I am going to consider the closed loop A, E, H, G, C, A. I repeat, A, E, H, G, C, A. This is the closed loop I have taken. Then in that case, A to E potential drop, so minus I2 into R. E to H potential drop, so minus I2 by 2 into R. H to G again potential drop, so minus of I1 minus I3 plus I2 by 2 into R. G to C, 2I1 minus 2I3 plus I2 into R, but a potential drop, so minus. C to A, minus to plus E is equal to 0. So this is the key equation. But here after writing this equation, there is very important key point that what you need to do it is, you have E value in terms of I1 plus I3. Our intention is E equal to I into RE. Getting the E value in terms of I will cancel. Then I will get RE in terms of small r. So E value must be in terms of I. So first of all, here this I2 should be avoided because E is in terms of I1, I3. But in this equation, I2 is extra. If we try to avoid I2, then E can be taken in terms of I1, I3. Then we can replace it in terms of I. There is a possibility. That's the reason why here you see carefully. I have expanded this equation. But while expanding, 2I1 plus I2 is equal to I. 2I1 plus I2 in this bracket is replaced with I. That's the only part that I need to consider apart from expansion. This is 2I1 plus I2 is equal to I. Next, expand this equation. As it is, you expand this equation. When you have expanded this equation, take all the terms to right side except E. Next very important step, I told you I2 should be avoided. So I2 will be replaced here with I minus 2I1. I2 replaced with I minus 2I1. Then you will have equation for E. And the next important step, here take minus 3 common. Then you will get I1 plus I3 into R. On taking minus 3 common here, you will get here minus 3 of I1 plus I3 into R. I1 plus I3 into R will be replaced with E. So E is equal to 3IR minus 3E. The 3E will be coming to left side. Then 4E is equal to 3IR. But E is equal to I into RE. So 4IRE equal to 3IR. I will cancel. Then RE is equal to 3R by 4. 4 has gone to right. So this is a little bit lengthy calculation part which you need to practice twice or thrice at least yourself. It is not compulsory to take the closed loop A, E, H, G, C, A. You can take any closed loop, but only the thing it is substituting the mathematical values. So for that, what you need to understand, I equal to 2I1 plus I2 and E is equal to I into RE, and in the closed loop A, D, C, A, in the closed loop E equal to I1 plus I3 into R. So what I have to know it is, I have to get E value in terms of small I. That's the first point. But I know E is equal to I1 plus I3 into R. Means, whatever the closed loop I am going to consider, I2 should be replaced with I minus 2I1. I2 should be replaced. And the next, I1, I3 will be replaced with E equal to I1 plus I3 into R. I repeat, whatever the closed loop you take, your equation will be in terms of I1, I2, I3. But E should be in terms of I. So, I2 first should be replaced with I minus 2I1. I and I1. will replace I2. Next, I1 and I3 combination can be replaced with E. So ultimately what will be left for you? I in terms of E or E in terms of I. So that we come across a equivalent resistance. This is the technique what you need to understand. Hope you got the technique. E should be in terms of I and small r. I will cancel. Re will be in terms of small r. Next, whenever you have taken the closed loop, you have got equation for E which can be replacing I1, I3 combination. So when you take any closed loop in your equation, I1, I2, I3, three terms will be there. I1, I3 combination can be replaced with E and I2 can be replaced with I minus 2 I1. In that process, E will be in terms of I. Then you will get equivalent resistance is 3R/4. So the equivalent resistance across the phase diagonal of a cube is 3R/4 in this particular case. This is the second example with path symmetry. Now here, what you need to understand, you try to calculate the equivalent resistance across the two adjacent vertices of a cube. Either AB, AD, DC, BC. You take any two adjacent vertices and try yourself to derive the equivalent resistance equation. You try, of course I can, if I am explaining, then you will not be able to think of it. You try, but I will explain in the next class, no doubt. But meanwhile you try how far you can reach. What is the question that you need to try? I have told you equivalent resistance across body diagonal. I have told you equivalent resistance across phase diagonal. Now your assignment is equivalent resistance across AB, which are the two adjacent vertices of a cube. You try yourself using path symmetry. No. Yeah. So till now you have learned that finding equivalent resistance using the concept of path symmetry. Now the next technique, reduction method, is over. Identifying which are in series, which are in parallel. And next, path symmetry. Now we are going to discuss about axis of symmetry. We are going to talk about axis of symmetry. Is another technique of calculating equivalent resistance in some complex electric circuits. While dealing with the axis of symmetry, we can have parallel axis of symmetry. We can have parallel axis of symmetry, and we can discuss about perpendicular axis of symmetry. So these are the two different types of symmetries that we have. One is parallel axis of symmetry, another one is perpendicular axis of symmetry. So first of all, what is meant by parallel axis of a symmetry, and how can we explain the concept of perpendicular axis of a symmetry? Let us handle this with an example first, which you can understand very well than the particular concept. Here once look at this complex electric circuit that I am drawing on the board. Once look at this. Here it is. Let us suppose this is AB and here it is some PQ. Let us take the points and here it is some O. Now we can discuss the parallel axis and perpendicular axis of symmetry using this example easily. Yes. First of all, parallel axis of symmetry. If you have axis of symmetry in the direction of current, then it is a parallel axis of symmetry. If axis of symmetry is perpendicular to the direction of current entering into the circuit, then we call it as a perpendicular axis of a symmetry. So what is meant by axis of a symmetry? Yes. First of all, you see, suppose for example, I wish to calculate equivalent resistance across AB. I will first listen, first try to understand the concept rather than noting the solution. If I wish to calculate equivalent resistance across AB, what I do? I suppose a cell or battery is connected across those 2 points A and B. A cell or battery will be connected. So that I current is drawn from the cell, is entering into the electric circuit. So I current is entering into the electric circuit. Now you see, in my electric circuit, all are identical resistors. All are identical resistors in my electric circuit. Now in this particular electric circuit, when the current is entering at A, I can find there is some symmetry about the line AB. About the line AB, your electric circuit has a symmetry. What does it mean? Yes. If you are going to fold the circuit about the line AB, you are going to fold the electric circuit about the line AB, where AB is axis of symmetry, because the portion which is above the line AB and the portion which is below the line AB are just like mirror images. When you take the line AB, about this line AB, the upper portion and the lower portions are mirror images to each other. Hope you got clarity. That means if you are going to fold the electric circuit about this line, where the electric circuit has some symmetry about the line AB, but the line AB is in the direction of current entering into the electric circuit or current leaving the electric circuit. That's why AB is called parallel axis of symmetry. So I repeat, what is the axis of symmetry? First try to understand this. About a particular line, if you are trying to fold the electric circuit, then the circuit is a mirror image to each other, the portions of the circuit are mirror images to each other, then the particular line is called axis of symmetry. Now here, the line AB has symmetry about it, but it is in the direction of current entering into the electric circuit or leaving the electric circuit. That's why AB is called parallel axis of symmetry. This is the first point. At the same time, if you are going to talk about the line PQ, you speak about the line PQ, where your circuit has even symmetry about the line PQ. But the line PQ is perpendicular to the direction current entering or leaving the electric circuit. That's why PQ is called perpendicular axis of symmetry. So I repeat. First, what is axis of symmetry? Now you can start writing the notes. What is axis of symmetry first? A line about which the electric circuit has mirror image, then we call it as axis of symmetry. A line about which my electric circuit has a mirror image. If such axis of symmetry is in the direction of current entering or leaving the electric circuit, then we call it as a parallel axis of symmetry. If the axis of symmetry is perpendicular to the direction where the current is entering or leaving the electric circuit, then such one is called perpendicular axis of symmetry. So 3 statements you have got, definitions for all the 3. Now, how do we apply this while simplifying this electric circuit or calculating equivalent resistance? How do we apply this? Yes, first of all, if I am going to calculate equivalent resistance across AB, I am trying to calculate equivalent resistance across AB and applying parallel axis of symmetry. I am trying to apply parallel axis of symmetry. Then fold your electric circuit about the parallel axis of symmetry. Then the respective meeting points will be at same potential. I repeat, if you have folded your electric circuit about the parallel axis of symmetry, then the respective meeting points or the corresponding meeting points will be equipotential points. This is a statement of parallel axis of symmetry. First, I have told you three definitions. What is the axis of symmetry? What is the parallel axis of symmetry? What is perpendicular axis of symmetry? Now, fourth point. What is the statement of a parallel axis of symmetry? Yes, if you are going to fold your electric circuit about the parallel axis of symmetry, then the corresponding meeting points will be equipotential points. Means, while calculating equivalent resistance across AB, while calculating, if you are going to fold the electric circuit about AB, fold the circuit about AB, if you are going to fold. When you are going to fold electric circuit about AB, then PQ will be at same potential. PQ will be at same potential. P comma Q at the same potential. So immediately AP, AQ will be in parallel. Similarly, BP, BQ will be in parallel. So AP, AQ will be in parallel. BP, BQ will be in parallel. So that these AP, AQ which are in parallel can be replaced by R by 2 because R are in parallel. It is R by 2. See, AO and OB are not getting disturbed. This is O and this is A, this is B. But what you need to understand here it is, in between A to O, AP, AQ are in parallel. That's why here, what you used to get here it is, let us take, this is P and Q which are in parallel, which are at equipotential. Then here there is a resistor which is R by 2. And here there is another resistor which is R by 2. Of course, a battery is connected across AB, of course. Now this is R and this is R. Now you can see this R by 2 are in series. Then your equivalent circuit is going to be, in between AO there is R, in between OB there is R again, and here there is R by 2 in series will give R. This is A and this is B. Of course, this is O. Now here these two in series. So R in series will give 2R. 2R and R will be in parallel. Finally, to calculate here I am writing final equation. To calculate equivalent resistance across AB, this RR in series which is 2R in parallel with this R. So your answer will be R1 into R2 by R1 plus R2. So this is going to be 2R by 3. This is the final answer. So this is how your circuit is simplified using. AP, AQ in parallel will give together R by 2 here. Because PQ at same potential. Similarly, BB, BQ in parallel R by 2. But this R by 2 will be in series will give R. And this RR in series will give 2R. So 2R and R in parallel, in between AB, 2R and R in parallel will give 2R by 2. So this is how parallel axis of symmetry can be explained. So first, hope you have written already in the notes. Just I am repeating for you. First you have to learn three definitions. What is the axis of symmetry? What is parallel axis of symmetry? What is perpendicular axis of symmetry? Next point, you have to write the statement of parallel axis of symmetry, what it explains. According to parallel axis of symmetry, if the circuit is folded about that parallel axis of symmetry, then the corresponding meeting points will be at the same potential. Using this concept, we can simplify, we can reduce the electric circuit and we can calculate. Now, we discuss about a perpendicular axis of symmetry statement. First, you note down this. So this is all, first of all, this is all theory. So after writing this entire theory along with this example, now you can frame a question. In this electric circuit, find the equivalent resistance across AB. But the same question can be solved using perpendicular axis of symmetry. That's what my intention to tell you. While calculating equivalent resistance across AB, I have applied parallel axis of symmetry. But my circuit has symmetry about the line PQ, which is perpendicular to the direction of current entering or leaving the circuit. That's why equivalent resistance across AB can be calculated using parallel axis of symmetry, also using perpendicular axis of symmetry. So my main question is find the equivalent resistance across AB. I have solved it using parallel axis of symmetry, which is AB. Now I will solve it now using perpendicular axis of symmetry. So first you note down this. What concept? Solution according to parallel axis of symmetry for equivalent resistance across AB. Note. Equivalent resistance across AB using the perpendicular axis of symmetry. Don't expect that now I am going to calculate effective resistance across PQ. Now I am calculating effective resistance across AB only, but using perpendicular axis of symmetry. Perpendicular axis of symmetry. So when you are applying this, according to that, if a circuit has symmetry about the perpendicular axis, then all the points on that perpendicular axis of symmetry will be at the same potential. Parallel axis of symmetry states that, hold the circuit about that parallel axis, then corresponding meeting points will be at the same potential. But perpendicular axis of symmetry states that if a circuit has a symmetry about the perpendicular axis, then all the points on that perpendicular axis will be equipotential points. But only one thing it is, if you are going to speak about the directions of current, here it is I1 and here it is I2, here it is I3 and here it is I4. Hope you are all following. This is I4, sorry. And here it is I5 and here it is I6, here it is I7 and here it is I8. If you are supposing just 8 resistors are there, 8 different currents if you are supposed. In the case of a parallel axis of symmetry, while folding the circuit about AB, the circuit has a mirror image. At the same time, the directions of current also has mirror images. Because when you are going to fold this path about the mirror image, this will be. So according to parallel axis of symmetry, the directions of currents also has mirror images. But according to perpendicular axis of symmetry, only the thing, when you fold the circuit about the perpendicular axis, the circuit has symmetry, but the directions of current will not be mirror images. See, imagine you are folding the electric circuit about the line PQ. You are folding your electric circuit. Then I1, its mirror image should be like this. If this is I1, while folding about PQ mirror, then mirror image should be like this, but the direction of current is like this. So what I am telling it is, if you fold about a parallel axis of symmetry, not only the circuit has mirror image, even the directions of current has mirror images, because the directions of currents coincides when you fold. But in perpendicular axis of symmetry, the circuit has symmetry about the perpendicular axis, mirror image, no doubt. Circuit has mirror image, but the directions of current will not have mirror images. Only the points that lies on the perpendicular axis will be equipotential points. Means P, O, Q will be at the same potential. Equipotential points. P, O, Q. Earlier PQ only equipotential. Now P, O, Q will be equipotential. If that is the case, AB, AO, AQ are at same potential. And moreover, PO is ineffective, OQ is ineffective. Because POQ are at same potential, no currents through PO and OQ. Means I70, I80. Means whatever current I1 will come out as same I3. Whatever the current I2 will come out as the same I4. Whatever the current I5 will come out as same I6. That's what you need to understand. According to perpendicular axis of symmetry, your circuit will have a mirror image. Yes, your circuit has symmetry about the perpendicular axis. Then all the points on the perpendicular axis will be at same potential. Remember that. Of course, the directions of current will not have mirror image. Next point. As POQ are at same potential, PO is ineffective. Means you can remove it, then there is no use. OQ ineffective, you can remove it, there is no use. And AP, AO, OQ are at same potential. R at same potential in parallel. So we'll give R by 3 between AO. Similarly, BP, BO, BQ are at same potential. R 3 in parallel. So R by 3. Of course, O, PQ are at same potential. Now between AB, R by 3 are in series. So equivalent resistance across AB is 2R by 3. You have seen already in parallel combination, your answer is 2R by 3. Even using perpendicular axis of symmetry, your answer is 2R by 3. Means the complex circuits can be solved either using parallel axis of symmetry or on using perpendicular axis of symmetry. This is what a little bit explanation on the concepts of axis of symmetry. So go through the concept of a path symmetry and axis of symmetry properly. In the next class, I give you few more examples regarding the axis of symmetry. Then I go for next technique of calculating equivalent resistance. We have learned reduction method and identifying equipotential points also. Second thing it is path symmetry. Third one it is axis of symmetry. We go with even other techniques how to calculate equivalent resistance. So please take care of that.